Hope you're taking notes today. We're continuing for the next couple of weeks. We're going to be talking to our candidates. Your ballot should arrive on around October 19th, so make sure you're taking good notes, right? All right. And in the House this morning, we have 14th District State candidate Sasha Bentley. She's a Democrat from Yakima.
I actually live in White Salmon right now.
White Salmon right now. Excellent. All right, White Salmon. And we know it's a big district all the way down there. Good morning and welcome, welcome back to the studio this morning, Sasha.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, Sasha, it's getting close now, getting real now, right? We're into October.
That's
We're a month away.
Yeah.
What's a day in the life of Sasha like as you do your campaign thing?
Oh, man. It's different every day, but a lot of it includes meetings, interviews, events, knocking on doors, just talking to people and listening to them.
Do you get much input from the state party, the West Side? Do they giving you tips, ideas, and pointing you in directions?
No.
No?
No, this is really about my campaign, and so I've been really managing it myself as well all the way since February, and so I have some help on board, and I have a lot of volunteer support, but
gotta feel good. It's your thing, doing it your way, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
exactly.
Right. Okay, so with a month to go, and you look back at the primary, and I think it's safe to say that there were those people that thought you might have been a cooked goose then, with a long term up against, Kathy Coffey and another conservative or Republican, at least on the east side. And by golly, you're still standing. So now what do you do to pick off some of those coffee votes that are just sitting there now that didn't go to Chris? So how do you get those?
I just continue with the plan of talking to as many people as possible and listening. And I think that just me and my campaign has always been about bringing people together and talking to everyone and so I can represent everyone.
All right. Now, that's a tricky thing because bringing people together is like the holy grail right now in a country that is divided, as even the Cavanaugh hearing has indicated this past week. As a Democrat, and you look on what took place there, what's your general reaction to how this whole thing has played out?
Kavanaugh?
Yeah, Kavanaugh Ford
the
hearings
whole hearing,
and, where the country's at as a result of that sort of thing.
Yeah, my country has been divided as long as I can remember, to be honest. And I know that it's definitely escalated and become even more partisan. And, the identity of your political party is more than anything else. It's more than your race, your class, your gender. It's like, oh, you're a Republican or, oh, you're a Democrat. And I just want to have us lessen that a little bit because there are so many issues that we agree on and the partisanship divides us, so we can't come together and get some of those things done that we really want to do. For Kavanaugh specifically, if there are allegations, I think an investigation is totally acceptable. It's a week-long investigation, and I think we'll see what happens after that, and we'll just go from there.
How do you feel about I keep saying the performance, but the way that the lawmakers acted, Democrats and Republicans, how do you feel that they acted during and they conducted themselves during the 2 weeks?
I think that a Supreme Court justice with a lifetime appointment needs that difficult confirmation. We need those questions asked and we need answers. So I honestly was so busy knocking on doors and talking to people that I didn't watch. But I did, of course, hear and listen and read some of what happened. So to me, it doesn't seem that different than any other confirmation. It's just if something comes up, we have to look into it.
Well, you saved yourself a lot of teeth grinding, I think, by not seeing it, probably.
Yeah.
When you're going door to door, what are you hearing? First of all, what are you hearing from people? And second of all, are any of those people holding your party accountable for what's happened in the Brett Kavanaugh thing?
We don't talk about Kavanaugh at the door. We talk about, a lot of people are talking about healthcare, education, and housing. And the most common phrase I hear is the kids need something to do. That's really the most common thing I hear from any party. And so that's. And
what are you telling them?
I'm telling them that we could provide more after school and summer programs, and Goldendale would love a BMX park. And so those are some things that we can work with the local governments and the business owners of the community and the community as a whole to make sure that the kids have something to do.
You know, as a dinosaur, I don't know if you noticed the 3 horns and the big shield behind my neck here, but Sasha, from your seat, you need to move a little bit more to the right to see that. But as a herbivore from the Cretaceous period, I have to say, I do not recall anybody ever having to come up with something for me to do as a kid. You know, we had our imaginations, and we had we had our own, what's the word I'm looking for? Our own passions and interests and search for fun. I'm not saying that sometimes we were never bored, but this we've got to provide for the kids thing. It doesn't go well with me. Just having had my own life experience. Granted, conditions change, lives change, all of that. I get all of that, but you know, and I don't have a question for you with that. I just needed to vent my dinosaurisms here. But I mean, think of the money that we spend on programs for things that I did. Who came up with programs for you when you were a kid, Sasha? Were there programs that you attended that took the place of fun that you might have found on your own?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a middle-class lifestyle, so I was able to go on the sports teams I wanted to do. I was able to be in drama and things like that. So I was able to do those activities that I wanted, that my passions were, but my parents could afford it. I'm talking about the kids that their parents are working 2 jobs or more, or 1 even, and they're having trouble putting food on the table. So those kids are looking at their parents. They see how hard their life is. They think that's their future. So if they go to an after-school program where they can learn and just see that there's a different future for them and that there are people there for them, that it can make a real difference in the future for not just the kid, but for us, because that kid might not go down into a gang, for example, or into drug issues. So, you know, the earlier we help our kids, the less problems we have to deal with in the future.
All right. Well said.
Sorry, KIT News Time is 8:25. If you're just tuning in, we are talking to 14th District State Representative candidate Sasha Bentley, a Democrat from White Salmon. And some initiatives on the ballot. Just like to get your quick take on how you feel about the initiatives. Initiative 1631, the tax, I guess it's being called the pollution tax. How do you feel about that?
I've heard from a lot of different people, and at this point, I think I am totally going to go for it, because we can be the first state to change from a carbon-based society to economy to a clean energy-based economy. So we can be the first state to do that. It's going to happen anyway. We know that climate change is real. We're seeing the effects, and we see that there are some steps that we can take to lessen those effects. And so if we're the first state to do that, to really focus on clean energy. Also, we spend billions of dollars out of state carbon. This is a way to keep our billions of dollars in the state. So it's actually going to eventually save us money, and that's really exciting as well.
Initiative 1639, that would call for some restrictions on guns and some restrictions and requirements on how to store weapons, things like that. How do you feel about it, 1639? 1639
makes sense to me. In Washington State, we have 2 classifications of guns, hunting rifles and pistols. So it's just moving that semi-automatic weapon from the hunting rifles into the pistol category. And that just means there are some extra things that those people have to go through, but that's the case now for any pistol weapon. So that makes sense to me. The safe storage, I totally understand that, you know, there are worries about that if someone takes your gun, you're going to be penalized for that. But I've been told that the prosecutor has wide authority to not really go after that, because they know that person just went through trauma, and they're not going to, you know, put them through more trauma. I think the vast majority of gun owners are responsible gun owners. And so this is not supposed to be changing their lives at all.
I-940 would call for police de-escalation training and things like that to help police officers in those tough situations. How do you feel about I-940?
I think our police officers have a really tough job. My grandfather was a police officer, and I think any tool and training that we can give them to, when they approach these dangerous situations, to be able to deal with them, I think that's great.
And the I-1634, no on grocery taxes. I guess it's a no on the sugar tax. How do you feel about Initiative 1634?
You know, that one I'm still not decided on, but I think there are pros and cons to both sides, people that want it and don't. But at this point, I think, you know, we can look into taxing. I don't think I'm gonna be for that one, but I haven't completely decided yet.
All right. Simple enough. Excellent. 14th District State Representative Sasha Bentley. Sasha, you got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You know, you got some big shoes to fill with Representative Norm Johnson. It used to be in there. How do you feel that you'll best address the needs of your district the way he did? And are you feeling that people are missing him or want to change?
You know, Norm, Representative Johnson, I am happy with what he did, and he always was communicative to me when I was his constituent. But I think people are ready for a change because we need someone that's really going to work hard for us and make sure that we receive the investments that we need here. We pay taxes to the state. So let's have a representative who will bring that tax money back to us instead of push it away. I'm also that representative that will work at least part-time, if not overtime, because you guys deserve that. We deserve that. So that's a little contrast as well. So I think people are ready for someone that's going to represent them and not just vote based on party.
All right. Sasha, we appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
For having the youthful energy that you do to take this on and handle it kind of pretty much on your own. Good showing in the primary, and we'll see how it all plays out here just about a month. So should you win, we'll have you back and chat more over the next couple of years, so you could get used to these faces.
I would love to.
That's asking a lot, but you could. Thanks for the time this morning. Sasha Bentley, running for the 14th District.